Hi, this is Genshkin-kun, and today we have a very special guest with me today. For privacy reasons, I will not be using her first name or last name, but she is my girlfriend. I call her Bubbas, and she calls me what?
Bubs.
Bubs. So Bubbas and Bubs, yeah. Today we are going to be talking about toxicity. Basically negative behavior, and in particular in this case for online games, multiplayer games typically, so games playing with multiple people on teams or against each other. Toxicity is a major issue. It's still a big hot button in the gaming community today, and I'm glad that due to circumstances in today's society that a lot of companies are coming down on toxicity. I won't specify, but yeah, the current events in the world are actually showing repercussions for people who are being toxic and racist and homophobic and etc. But anyway, let's focus on today's topic, toxicity, and the game in the background that's playing right now is Overwatch. I had my bubbas with me today. Watch two specific rounds. One round was me, in particular being toxic, and the other round match was my teammates being toxic. Well, in particular, one teammate in this round was being toxic to another player, not me, but to the other player playing the similar role in the second match being DPS. So, I just for disclaimer's sake, my Bubba's here doesn't play many video games often. She knows Overwatch because her brother plays Overwatch, but she has some gaming experience, but she hasn't played a lot of games recently. Mostly the game she's been playing with me right now has been Animal Crossing.
Yes, which I get wrong a lot. I call it Animal Jam or Animal Planet.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's... No, anyway, sorry. Back to the main topic at hand, toxicity. So, yeah, like I was saying, she watched a round where I was playing a healer, first round where I was being toxic, and the second round where I was playing DPS, but at least one teammate was being very toxic to another teammate. So, in the first round, that should be showing in the background right now, I'm not going to have really audio playing, but we're just commentating over it. Bubba's, she heard everything. I was cursing, mainly just dropping a lot of F-bombs. I was upset because the tank player was he was AFK. He was away from keyboard. He and competitive, and he's playing tank, which has one of the shortest wait times in the game, since not many people are playing tanks. He wasn't there. He was doing something, I don't know. This match was at night too. So I originally had another recording, but I thought that sounded too negative. I'm trying to be more positive in this recording. So, because my main point here is that toxicity tends to throw people off. It tends to cause people to lose focus and to not achieve. It ends up working against people. And my Bubba's here has a background with her working with individuals who have issues, who can be very negative, or young individuals who can be very negative and who can get upset and tend to get distracted because they get upset. Isn't that right? So in the first round where I was being toxic, what do you think I could have done to not be so toxic?
Well, to begin, because it was so new to me to hear you say those things or to get that frustrated, it was funny.
Yeah, she was laughing. Hear me drop the F-bomb.
Yeah, I was like, what? This came from you? But I really respect the fact that you listened to it again and you wanted to change it because it was something that you really didn't want to put out there. So I love that. Hence why we're doing this. So what's something that you could have done better? Automatically, I would have... The way that I think is that I would have maybe just asked, like, hey, is everything okay? Why are you AFK? That's, like, the first thing, because I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe, like, his mom called him, he dropped something, or he's in the middle of something right when he's, life happens.
Yeah.
So that was my first thing. Or he got disconnected. I don't know. And I'm basing it off of when I used to play WoW. Especially I was such a noob. So luckily I had my brothers always helping me play those games. And if it was like too late for you, or you were not in the right mindset, maybe I would have just called it quits altogether, Like maybe wait to enter another game, or just call it quits if it was going to really affect you in a negative way. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense.
Okay.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main reason why I was frustrated and I was cursing and dropping F-bombs here and there and saying God,
which I don't like.
Yeah, which Bubba's does not like. Was because this game was like I had to win one more game to achieve the next rank, which was I was going from platinum to diamond, and these past 2 Overwatch seasons was like the first 2 I've taken seriously in a while. I just kind of got fed up with people telling me, oh, if you want to be serious, if you want to win, just play competitive. So I'm like, okay, I'll just play competitive, because I was playing quick play, and people use quick play to relax and not be so serious, but at the same time, I still wanted to win.
Of course.
So, but I understand where they're coming from, because it's like that mode is kind of like a mode just to practice mainly, but I'd like to still win. That's my issue. And they were partially right. So I finally just took their advice and started playing competitive. Anyway, back to the topic. But yeah, I was trying to win this one last match, because I knew all I needed was to win this one match to get enough SR points to achieve the next rank, which is diamond. From platinum to diamond, you have to get to 3,000. And I was like just one match off, and I had the whole SR curse, which is like being stuck in the same rank and not being able to get up. But yeah, so this was the first time I actually achieved diamond rank, at least for healing. I was the healer in this round. I was Mercy.
Yeah. And
the player, like I said, what I was getting frustrated with was a tank player. So we needed them like really badly, considering that the other tank player wasn't playing a hero that had shields. So we had trouble avoiding damage, because tanks absorb and they take the hits. And the other tank player was playing Roadhog. So obviously he's taking hits, but he's not negating the damage. He doesn't have any shields, so he just takes the hits, and people can shoot around him, and we could still easily die. And just from the brief moment in the background, you can see that this player chose Winston. He does have a shield, but it's very paper. It doesn't last that long. It isn't like Reinhardt or Orisa or Sigma, or kind of like the go-to tanks with shields. He played a tank that's mainly kind of like an off-tank role. So he played a dive character, a character that basically jumps on other players to take them out. But yeah, my girlfriend was absolutely right. So.
And see, if I were talking to one of my kids, like my students, I would have told them, especially if he got that upset, I would have told him, either you take a break, go walk it off, come back, or take a break and do it some other time when you're not so hot-headed. And also, I probably would have told them, or most likely would have told them, like, you're going to get there eventually. So just use these losing rounds or practices or games as a learning experience, and try to see how you can even get better.
Yeah.
Because you'll get there, you'll get where you want to get, and it's just going to take time. And every great thing takes time, So that's if it was my kids. If I was talking to one of my kids. With you, it's like, better. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and like one thing I have to remind myself, and I've had people tell me it's just a game. It really is just a game. And yeah, those people are right, even though I kind of feel like that's kind of an excuse that people fall back on. But in the end, it is just a game. And typically, if this wasn't a competitive round, yeah, I would have just left. But if I left the match right there, I would have actually lost more points. And I would have been temporarily banned until that round was over for a period of time. But Bubba's is right. You just need to... I was going to get there eventually, and I did. We ended up actually winning the round. I don't know exactly if I'm going to show the entire round, but I'll show bits of it. Now, moving on to the second round, where it wasn't me being toxic. It was one particular, it was the healer of that round being toxic. It was that Mercy's. That person was playing Mercy, and they were being toxic. That healer was being toxic to one of our DPS players. And I actually looked back after the match, because the Overwatch records the matches, and you can review the matches from other players, your teammates' perspectives.
I thought that
and
was
the
really
enemy
cool.
and the enemy's perspectives. Yeah, and I noticed that our other DPS that they were that was getting attacked and insulted was actually doing a pretty good job. They were flanking, and they were taking people out. I don't know if the healer's kill feed was off, or if they weren't paying attention.
I think it was that, babe. Sorry to cut you off. I think it was that they weren't paying attention, and maybe he wasn't or she wasn't playing to their standards. But looking at the second one, I felt really bad for the one that was getting, the low blows, especially because I felt it was like two people kind of commenting on this person. And I felt really bad because, a lot of times people do this to get away from, baloney.
And stressful situations. So they use this game to relax, and they go to it
fun.
And they go into it, and now they're getting attacked.
Yeah.
In their relaxing space.
And I thought it was sad in both, I really thought it was sad because I'm like, oh, how are they feeling?
Yeah.
It's like, but, I always feel there's a reason why maybe somebody messes up or is not paying attention or whatever the case. And it's like, we also make mistakes. And so I wouldn't want to get the wrath of somebody else if, I'm making a mistake. And it's not really my fault, So in both situations, I did feel bad, but especially in the second one, because like I said, it was almost like two people ganging up on this person.
Yeah. And just to clarify, neither of the players, the one I was getting frustrated with and the one in the other players were getting frustrated with, they didn't have mics, but they could hear us. They were in team chat. They were responding to our call outs and whatnot. And they could hear us, so we know that they could hear the first round. The tank could hear me curse and get frustrated, and in the other round they could hear us, and they didn't exactly they didn't really make a big deal out of it. But you can tell because they were switching up, and when we called them out on maybe them not doing so well on a certain character, they switched. And they ended up switching into characters that they were decent at, and they were doing their roles. And also another clarification: the first round was with ranked players being platinum and diamond, while the next round was mostly gold players. So there's a skill difference between these players. So there's a difference between diamond and platinum players tend to have more knowledge of like what to do, and they're able to respond to situations better than gold players. At least I feel that way. And I was gold DPS, and I was a platinum healer who became just recently diamond. So I feel I'm more comfortable healing than I do DPSing. And if you guys want to know, I'm also a platinum tank. I'm trying to get everyone up to diamond and get better. Because I like to get better at these games. I like winning. I think everyone likes to do well and likes to lift their weight. but it's kind of sucky playing something that's supposed to be fun, and you're getting attacked, and you're getting angry. So it's no longer fun. And these games are supposed to be fun. And if you're not having fun, then what's the point?
Yeah. And it's okay to get angry, but it's not okay to put somebody down.
Yeah.
Or use it like as a weapon.
Yeah, or like a crutch for your own faults.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then another thing that I just remembered from the second video that you showed me was that the guy was complaining about 3 players, right? Like, oh, whoever picks this person and this person and this person,
yeah,
they're a piece of I don't know what.
They were useless.
Yeah, and then they're like
useless.
And then didn't he even say they're typically like 13-year-olds?
Yeah, he said if people who play Genjis and they have a mic tend to be like 13, 14-year-old boys.
It's almost over.
5, 4, 3.
Like, I can't help but always think, because when Genjis do have a mic, they're always like 14-year-old boys that were playing like with the child.
Yeah, so the more reason, if that's true, because I don't know, but the more reason
not.
for you to, oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, so little kids can't play this game?
Little kids do play. Kids do play.
Oh, okay.
But most people, I don't hear. You don't run into. I've rarely run into teenagers playing this game. It's mostly grown ass adults playing this game.
Because I was gonna say, if that's true, then the more reason for you to watch your mouth.
Yeah.
But okay.
But there are kids. It's not. It's a rated. It's a T for teen. It's not M for mature. So. And, it's funny. You brought up WoW. Overwatch is made by the same guys.
Oh, really? Blizzard?
Yeah, Blizzard made Overwatch, yeah.
That's what's up, Blizzard.
So, yeah. And she knows what toxicity is. She played an MMO, so she's pretty familiar with it. And even though Bubba's doesn't have much experience, her brother... gave her some breathing room and knew that she wasn't used to playing games, so took everything in stride with her.
Oh, he's amazing. He's the type of person that loves to teach you and has the patience of a saint. I think I'm more harder on myself. I'm the type of person that's like, I'm sorry, I'm such a noob. Oh, I suck at this game. Oh, I wanted to help you. It's okay. He's like, you're just learning. Here, let me help you. Or do this move. I mean, he loves it. He loves teaching me. And I love that. Because I learned so much from him. I mean,
and that brings up a good point. Maybe instead of being toxic, like I have situations where I have rounds where I stop people from picking on each other and say, hey, it's okay. Let's try to learn from this situation. And that's what Bubba's brother... did for her, like you just heard. It's like, it's okay, we'll just try again. Try this instead of this. So instead of attacking, they were more supportive, because positive, you get more, what's the saying? You attract more, like...
More bees with honey?
More bees
than
with
vinegar.
Than vinegar. You attract more bees with honey than vinegar.
Right? Or is it flies?
Flies with it's close.
You get it.
Yeah, you guys get it. But
Google it.
But yeah, Baba's is absolutely right. It's just like, there's no point. It's okay to get frustrated, but you can't let that anger and toxicity cloud your judgment.
Yes, control you and overwhelm you. Most definitely.
But yeah, it's just, the thing is, like, even though we won the first match, I won that match, and I finally reached Diamond. Like I told Bubba's here, I didn't feel good about it. I mean, I was happy I got Diamond, but I didn't enjoy that round, at all. And it's because I was frustrated. And the thing is that even though we won, I knew I could have done better if I was more positive. Like, I knew that. I felt that afterwards. It took me like a few minutes after the round, but Because, like, I was actually really excited to record that round because it was like I knew all I had to do was win one. So I was hoping to record it and basically show, like, positivity, but I was negative instead. And my own toxicity just made me feel bad afterwards.
Ruined it for you.
It ruined otherwise a very good... It ruined an otherwise a moment that I should have been happy about. So I managed to get it, but it's like, was it worth it, though? Kind of situation.
Yeah.
And in the other round we won, and I was more positive. I was more focused on the objective. I was doing, like, Bubba's here told me, it could hear me saying, aim for this person or come back or focus, and I wasn't. And when I did ask another player to do something, I didn't insult them. I said, please, can you play this something else? Can you switch instead of playing this character? Or can you play this, this?
And they did, right?
And they did.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, like, there's even one call out, one thing I asked, and the person, the DPS, already switched. And I didn't know some switching. So it's like most of the time, and even in the first round, they switched. They switched to Reinhardt, which is one of the tanks with the shield, instead of Winston. So it's like they knew. Most of the time, most people know they'll if they really want to win, if they really want to actually achieve something, most of the time they'll make the right choice. Most of the time. Sometimes you run into the people, and I have had matches where the other people are just extremely toxic and they absolutely refuse to make the right choice. And so they're just stubborn? You're stubborn, or they're just being butts.
Doo-doo heads?
Doo-doo heads for the sake of being doo-doo heads.
Yeah.
Like, just an example, I had one round where I was healer, or I was DP. No, I was healer. And this was not this season, but the previous season, where I was also very close, but I never achieved diamond. I was so close. It was one of those rounds where I was just, all I needed was winning once. But these two tank players, they picked Roadhog and Hammond. They picked two tanks that are pretty much off tanks. They're not main tanks. They had no way to really protect me at that time. So, and guess what? At the end, the Roadhog player had a mic. He basically told me, "Oh, guess what? You suck. You suck D and whatnot." Yeah. Yeah, that's what they were.
No.
Yeah, they told me I sucked, even though I asked them. Multiple times I asked them, "Please, can you switch to a shield hero?" I was being very, very polite, and it eventually got to a point like I practically begged them to switch, and it got to a point where I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even give them the time of day.
I gave up eventually, and I just went with it, and I'm just like, that game didn't even feel good either, because I knew we were going to lose, and we did, and I was just glad to be out, done with that round.
So let me get this right. So if you would have quit, or like basically tapped out, I don't know how.
In a competitive game,
you said you get
penalized.
Oh, you do get penalized.
You do get penalized.
So you kind of have to.
I have to stick it. I have to suck it up and stick it out. Yeah, and that's the second thing, is that there's a lot of games where where people are just really toxic, and or it doesn't matter. You can be as positive as you can be, but there's other players who either are just butts or just don't know what they're doing, and they refuse to work as a team. And there is a report function, but like if you read the description, it says this you can report them for bad teamwork or abusive chat. So I could have reported that guy for being abusive in the chat, but one of the report descriptions that says you can't. They won't count if the person refuses to switch heroes.
Oh, I see.
So there's sabotage game and abusive chat. Basically, sabotage game is typically they're AFK, or they're just sitting around doing nothing, or they're purposely helping the other team to kill you, which has happened before, but that's rare. That's really rare. Wow. So not switching heroes is really not reportable, but they can get, if they say something negative, like really toxic, like something racist or homophobic, or just curse, or just really negative, like extremely negative, like you effing suck, you can't report them.
You can?
You can.
Okay.
But you have to fill out like what they said, and because everything is recorded.
Oh, okay.
So, but anyway, going back to the main point, it's just, there's no reason for like you to be toxic. Most of the time, if you're not toxic, more people are willing to work with you and listen to you. If you're not toxic, if you try to be positive, if you focus on the objective, I want to say probably 7, even 8 times out of 10, most people will listen to you. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Bubbas, for joining me today. I liked listening to you give your input.
Of course, my
because I know in your background you have experience working with difficult situations with people.
Yeah, more focused on children.
Yeah.
Which I find it actually easier trying to calm down,
adults?
behavioral child.
Really?
Yeah.
Than adults?
Yeah, because I feel like there's a reason why they have that negative behavior. And I'm trying to figure out why. And I'm trying to help them out. And I mean, it's like you can just distract a child. I think personally you can distract them or get them out of their anger, their rage faster and easier and in a kinder way than an adult.
Why do you think that is?
Because I feel like they're kids.
They're still growing.
Yeah, there's not only that, but it's just like I can come to them in a loving way.
Okay.
In a very caring and loving way.
And you can't really do that with adults.
I feel like you can, because they'll probably look at you like, what's wrong with you?
What you doing?
Don't try to hug me right now. Or so, I don't know.
Get your paws off my hair or something like that. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I mean.
Dirty mitts. Yeah.
Yeah. It's different.
It's harder to be more affectionate with adults than it is with.
Well, yes, especially if they're strangers.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, if I were to be in your shoes, like I would have no problem checking the person without, cussing them out. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey man, take it easy. I ain't coming at you in a negative way. Mm-hmm. Like, or hey man, watch your mouth. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I would have to be in that situation to really know. But if I have to suck it up so I won't get penalized. I would check the fool. Not cussing him out or nothing like that, but I would check the fool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely think it's easier to calm a child down in an anger or in a rage when they're like that than an adult. It's like you don't want to get socked by an adult. But
it's different because it's just over voice chat.
Yeah,
you're not actually talking to the person directly.
You're right. You're so.
But no, I'm
thinking about my kids.
No. You're still right though.
Yeah.
It's much easier to be more affectionate to younger people than it is older people.
And to talk to them, I know sometimes they need their space, and a lot of times we do tell them, all right, go take a breather, man. Go take a breather. And sometimes I have to tell other kids, don't look at him. But eventually, they're like, okay. What I wanted to tell you is, they talk to you. I don't know. I just find it easier.
Okay.
Especially with their kids. You have the patience for the kids.
Yeah.
Adults, they should know better.
Yeah. We should all know better as grown-ups. But anyway, in short, just be nice to each other. Try to, instead of being negative, try viewing things in a more positive lens and more objective lens. Yeah. Like it's much easier and you'll feel better working with somebody than against somebody. So,
and if you have to ignore. If you have to check somebody without cussing, just ask, hey, relax, man. It's a game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever you say. But I know, especially right now.
Yeah, it's tough right now.
Right now, it's like Try to put yourself in other people's shoes.
Yeah, that's what people need to
And
do more.
and other people's perspective. And
Because, like I said, like I was able to look from like the other player's perspective, and they were doing quite a bit. Other people, including myself, just didn't notice. So put yourself in their perspective. Put yourself in their shoes. Try to be more aware. I know a lot of things happen, even in games. There's a lot to absorb, a lot of information coming at you at once, but you have to try to step back and look at the situation from a broader perspective, a broader lens, and you'll be surprised. Most of the time, it's like, yeah, your teammates and other people are trying to do what they need to do. Most people just want to get along and just get the job done.
And obviously, you guys all have something in common. You like playing that game.
Yeah, so we should be having fun instead of being frustrated. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, Bubbas.
You are most welcome, my handsome bubs. I like that you did this.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Thank you. And until next time, this is Genshiken-kun. Sayonara.
Good job. Except for other DPS. Like, he can come back.
Oh, over your other DPS, I'll appreciate what you did.
Play of the game.
Thank you.
You go, May.
I thought
Go
that
on
was
with
me
your
by
bad
the
self.
skin piloting term. Like, I just play May that game. But yeah, this was a really good ultimate. So, good job.